baby. All right.
Good morning, okay, sorry, I'm taking Dr. Jones's words. Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning to all of our syndicated cities. You're listening to 106.1 Praise FM, one of Radio One's favorite stations, and you're listening to There Is a Place, and we want to take you there. We're broadcasting live from Concord Baptist Church, and I'm your co-host, Jamie Christon. Good morning to my favorite host. Good morning, Dr. Matthew L. Jones. How are you today?
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning, Maryland. Good morning, D.C., Delaware. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Exactly. Yes, good
morning. We are delighted to come to you this morning from
Yay.
Praise 106.1 FM.
Exactly.
We are indeed blessed to be able to share this Women's History Month and all of the persons that have been on the show speaking of situations and conditions and people I have been identified that I have had the opportunity to work with, to share with, and to come through the ages with, like Shirley Chisholm, quite acquainted with her.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about Shirley
Yeah,
Chisholm.
but I want to talk about,
I can never get it out. This is insane.
I want to briefly talk about another woman this morning before we start.
Oh, you got somebody else for us? Okay,
Henrietta Doswell.
Henrietta Doswell.
Henrietta Doswell.
Henrietta Doswell. Okay,
Yes.
you got it. Y'all heard
Henrietta
that right.
Doswell.
Okay, good. Perfect.
The jewel gospel singers of the 60s.
Oh, you know what? You talked a little bit about them before. I remember last year you kind of brought them up. Okay, so run this back. Run it back real quick.
The 60s. They had a television show every Sunday morning for 30 minutes on NBC.
Nice.
But that wasn't the main thing I want to talk about because I did not meet them until the 70s.
Right. Were you doing some activist work? What were you doing then?
I was doing a whole lot of stuff.
Okay, yeah, you were. Several things.
I was in graduate school and I was working with special programs, the Beaumont School for Boys.
Yep.
I did stuff with them and activities and gave them trips and brought them off of the campus.
Yes.
And anytime anything happened on the campus, the organization would call me to deal with the boys.
Oh, nice.
They concluded that I was going to become the head of that school, but that was not my intention. I was in graduate school and just helping out.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go back to...
you already know, plans always change.
Henrietta Doswell. they were a great singing group. They in the early 60s, they were pretty much the
When
dominant.
Henrietta Doswell was a part of a singing group, or was she,
She was-
like, that was the name of her singing
No,
group?
no, they put the Jewel Gospel Singers.
Okay, understood.
She was a member of the Jewel Gospel Singers.
Okay.
And the members of the Jewel Gospel Singers were Doris Allen, Henrietta Doswell, Ernestine Jackson, Ellen Rose, Annie Gardner. Those are the singers.
Those was the group members.
That was the group
So
members.
Henrietta was like the Beyonce back then. She was the head of the
Well-
group, right? She was the star. I mean, that's what I'm taking from it. Let's go. Proceed, please. Proceed.
Doris Allen was kind of like the lead singer at the time, but
Okay.
But by the time I arrived, Henrietta Doswell had restructured and had a major effect in the community.
Okay.
And we got together and we wrote a play called The Church in the Valley that went to Broadway. And this group and the impact that she had on this South Richmond, especially this special white church that I was working with at the time, the impact that she had on the community kids and all of these kids that she brought together to present plays in the Coliseum in Richmond and everywhere. She worked with the impact that she had that I'm reflecting on in the community and on the kids, and not focus on the gospel singing she did in the 60s, but the impact that she did.
She used her voice, it sounds like.
Their program in
stardom.
the 60s was from 62 to 66, that television program.
62 to 6, 4 years.
Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
I think that they did 49, something like the 49 presentations.
Shows or something. Okay, they
Yeah.
had sets. Okay. That's
But
what's
it's
up.
the work that the effect that she had on the kids in that community during the 70s. So that's when I arrived in Richmond in 1970.
Okay.
Coming out of graduate school in Chicago to Richmond. But it was a tremendous experience. It was there that I was exposed to television and radio broadcasting and all of those experiences when I got involved with Henrietta Doswell and that group. So I want to let Henrietta Doswell know that we have not forgotten her. I don't know whether she is listening or what is her physical condition at the moment, but we just wanted to reflect on that.
Okay, that's a good reflection. I love that. And so, listen, if you so we come on every Saturday at 11 a.m. But if you've never listened to the show, again, if you're just tuning in, getting in your car, whatever, the show is called There's a Place, and we want to take you there. And so the reason why we have this show is because it's a mentor strategy that we ultimately believe, Dr. Jones, that will reduce crime, right? So Dr. Jones came up with this strategy, and I was like, okay, I'm for it. Like, I believe in it. It's amazing, right? And so the goal of the first stage of this whole strategy is to show that spirituality and economics are one and the same, because when spirituality is the foundation of our communities, it reaches all aspects of our lives, right, Dr. Jones?
correct.
That's it. And so we want to show that the Black church is and has always been the strongest economic entity in our community.
And anytime you separate the two, spirituality and economic, then I call it voodoo economics.
Voodoo
I
economics,
don't
but we don't
trust-
want that. I don't even
don't
like the
trust
word
that
voodoo.
economics.
Right, no, that part right there. So
Economics have to be based on principles,
it has to be, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Good.
especially if
good
we're going to
faith.
challenge the churches to give support directly to the business. We want the churches, and you're going to go ahead.
You
and talk
already know,
about it.
because that's what we want, because I'm going to follow up and get with these churches in a second, right? So
Yeah.
the purpose of the show is to bring back together the church and the minority businesses. And at the same time, we want to make sure that the churches and the people that are part of this strategy mentor young men and women who wish to start a business by having an existing business or interest of their own, right? And so I like to always stop there, because we say young men and women, but let's be clear, there is no age.
Absolutely.
No right or wrong age. You can never be too young or too old to start a business. So what does the guy always bring up? The guy of Popeye's Church's Chicken, one of those chicken places, right? KFC guy, somebody, he started the chicken business at 66 years old, and the legacy is still happening. And so I just like to let
Well,
people
we
know.
throw out
there's
Harlan Fullwood. Miss Fullwood is still a parishioner here, but Harlan Fullwood passed away. When I came here, he had started 4 or 5 Kentucky Fried Chickens in the city.
Oh yeah,
And
he should
he
have passed
started
them
them
on to
after
me.
50 years
Uh-huh.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I
After-
like him. That's the shout out to the 50 and over crew. You guys can start businesses and pass it on to your children and to your loved ones. But what we want to do is pretty much bring the communities and the churches together at large, and by using this method, we will strengthen both the church and the communities. And then the second stage of the show is to show the necessity of the industrial arts, like, and how they should be put back into the school system. And what that pretty much looks like is that, so right now you have, like in Baltimore, we're talking about Baltimore here, so other cities, we don't exactly know what your statistics look like, but in Baltimore, we have a couple of high schools, just quite a handful, that have the trades and the vocational trades within their schools. And so other countries have proven, and other places have proven, that one, if you have trades and vocational schools at large, then the children will have sustainability. Our youth will have more of a sustainability, when they graduate from high school. And even if they don't graduate from high school, they have something to fall back on. But here in Baltimore, it starts in high school. And Dr. Jones has done some immaculate research to show that this should start in elementary and middle school. It should start with the younger children, right?
Absolutely, because, with the computers and stuff, I know 7 years old know as much knowledge about running a computer.
Child, these
than a
7-year-olds know
college
more than me. Yes, they do. They know how to work the
one
phones,
personally.
tablets, everything. No, absolutely, right? And then, because that's important, like our kids need to have something, especially kids who don't have the ability to go to college, or that's just not their thing and that's not in their forecast. Everybody doesn't have to go to college, but at least we know if they learn a trade or something during the era while they're in school, they can start a business off of that trade, or they can go into the work world,
and
right?
it can be economically effective as a college graduate. But let me throw in,
Okay.
we have someone with us who's going to talk about industrial arts, who's working with
we have some amazing guys. Look,
we have a young lady here.
No, exactly. No, and if you guys are watching on YouTube Live or like Facebook Live, you can see us. But let's be clear, we are ready with our guests here. So if you're in your car driving, don't go anywhere. Our guests are going to be on just in quite a second. So the third stage of the mentoring program is to have the minority businesses tie employment with home ownership. And even if it's not minority businesses, it's the major businesses, I'm sorry. And so what we like to use, I always like to use a place like John Hopkins for an example, or like your Under Armours. Like you have these large conglomerate businesses here, and they have like all of these buildings, and they have employees, and they have all of this money, and a lot of them are in communities that have vacant houses or homes that aren't owned by the community, and they're eyesores because people, we know that people tend to invest in things that they own. And so if you hire staff and employees and they can own homes in the community in which the business is in, one, it'll improve the communities, it'll improve the look of the communities, and people take a sense of pride and value in ownership, right?
Ownership,
yes.
Yeah,
so
maybe
that's
throw
good.
in here that there is a special program that Baltimore City allocating $4 million for.
Yeah, I need to read up on that, Dr. Jones. I gotta see what the city doing with this money.
Helping people to redevelop the bad existing houses.
Yeah.
The organization, they can participate.
Okay.
And renovating.
What is it? The facade grant?
Facade grant.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
We got some knowledge on the platform. I'm loving it. And so pretty much that's the mentor strategy, right? So you have stage one, bringing the churches, minorities, businesses back together, and helping other people within their communities and youth start businesses. And so this is the call to action. So we know that, like Dr. Jones always says, the pastors and the church parishioners should start within their church. Find out who in their church are business owners and what their church has to offer first. So once you start within, you have to get outside the walls of the church, right? So you have all these churches and communities, and they, in my opinion, they focus on the people within their church. And the job and the work of the church is to go outside the four walls of the church and do the work in the community and to reach the people in the community that don't even come to church, right? So that's just a call to action. Second stage, to show the necessity of industrial arts, and the third stage is to have the major businesses tie employment with home ownership. And so that is Dr. Jones's strategy, and there's a place, and that's the place that we want to take you to. And so good morning to all of our listeners. There you go, right? So that's the strategy.
The place we know, and we want to take you there. That's the
But
main.
this morning we have some guests, though.
Yes.
We want to take you to the place of our guests, right? And so I'm so excited to talk to our guests. And of course, this is Women's History Month, so we have two amazing people on our platform, and they're gonna, give us some knowledge about what they do in their businesses. So good morning to our guests. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay, yeah. So please, I always like to let my guests introduce themselves, make sure they pronounce their name correct, they do the daggone thing. So we'll start with you because we have a female here, and so it's Women's History Month, so we'll let the ladies go first, okay? There you go.
Hey guys, hey.
So my name is Sydney. I work with Black Arts District, and what we do is we like to reimagine, revitalize, and sponsor and reinvest in the community, especially West Baltimore.
Okay.
Emphasis on Pennsylvania Avenue corridor. Understanding that Pennsylvania Avenue corridor used to be full of Black-owned businesses. It used to be a
Absolutely.
safe space for Black people to shop or be safe in community. And people like Billie Holiday, UB Blake, Cap Calloway used to be there. We had Royal Theater, Sphinx Clubs.
Okay.
And a lot of these places are boarded up due to disinvestment and a lot of gentrification going towards downtown trying to build tourism. And it didn't really want tourists like in Black community and supporting Black community.
Yes.
So instead of waiting for that, we are creating organizations within our community that support and reinvest in our community and reimagine our histories. Because if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. And
I
a
love it.
lot of it is that Baltimore, we don't know that we have so much to save or to
Okay.
cherish.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times we'll waste our corridors. Like Pennsylvania Avenue is known for a lot of negative stereotyping, but a lot of that came from systems that weren't to support us. So
I love that. Wait a minute,
Well,
say that again. A lot of it came from
a
what?
lot of it came from
Yes.
systems that were created actually to not support us or to take us down.
Absolutely.
So understanding that a lot of what we had collectively was community, art, expression, and businesses. So we are there to give sponsorships to artists and Black creatives who want to have events because we understand that even with COVID, not having gatherings is definitely something that's detrimental in our community. When you don't gather with your community, you don't connect with your community. When you don't connect, you are more prone to violence on your community.
I like the way you said
And
that.
so we definitely need more gatherings and cultural events, social events, because having businesses is an important thing, but having places where people can gather and create networks for those businesses or create family or support system resources, that's also important in our community. So that's something that we do. We also collect old photos from elders, and if you got an album in your grandmother's house, definitely come upload it. Because what we do is we put those in a curriculum and we put them in the schools to teach the youth about their history, to teach the youth about art expression, how to use it, and allow them to create projects based on their history. Because a lot of the history that we learn in school is either American or white history. And it's not a lot of our Black history. It's not a lot of our cultural history. It's not a lot about how we survived, how we created culture. Because a lot of the things in our communities, there are sub-communities and subcultures. And those
That is
things
exactly
need
correct, yeah.
connections. And the connections that usually happen are through the arts. And we also need to understand that our artists are our politicians. A lot of the youth are not listening to like Mayor Scott. They listen to Lil Wayne. They listen to T-Pain. So we need
My 14-year-old, yeah, you
okay,
hear me.
you know.
There you go. There
So
you go.
we need our artists to be supported, number one, and to have positive messages. And a lot of those messages we can't force them to have. We have to be an active part of having a community for them to have positive messages to give to. And so that's what we do. We have sponsorships. We have artist registry. We have programs where we collect photos. We have a fellowship. Right now, I think John Tyler is our fellow, and we have him with TT, the artist, as a mentor. So they'll do a big festival at the end of the year to show using John Tyler to develop himself, but also using TT to teach John Tyler how to do that. And I believe there's a big festival to show all of the knowledge they've gained, all of the growth they've had, all of the development. So we do back artists and do mentorships and programs and teach them and grow them. And then we have internships. So we also hire people, creatives in the community who want to be a part of this initiative. It's a huge initiative. And it took about, I think, 10 organizations to even start it because, like, I think the state did not want it. at
Oh,
first.
nice. So you're telling me 10 organizations came together to start
Yes.
this
Include-
organization? Oh, nice. Okay. That's amazing.
So, including LBS, Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle.
I love that you said, wait a minute, stop there, because I love that you said the words with the acronyms. I hate people do that, right? I'm listening to the radio, I'm like, well, what will LBS
one
be,
is
right?
it?
So that's
Yeah.
good. No,
Yeah.
thank you. And repeat that again, I'm sorry.
LBS, Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle, they were a part of it. And it was groups of organizations that they had to go and change legislation and actually fight for a Black Arts District. One thing they didn't want is like, why is it only Black? But if we want arts districts that incorporate multiple cultures and subsections, like we got Chinatown and Little Italy, but why is it a fight to get Black arts districts? So we understand that systematically
Speak.
it's a mindset against art and it's a mindset against Black art. And so we have to support and grow those things as a community, especially along Pennsylvania Avenue. And even when you were talking about grants that were coming out, facade grants and different things, like we are often on boards. I was just in the interviews for like Avenue Market is getting reinvigorated right now. Avenue Market lives within Pennsylvania Avenue, lives on the district. And so like having these conversations about revitalizing history and building those corridors and talking to organizations and getting it. And I will say, we need to talk to our legislators. So if you're listening, go talk to a lot of your legislators about the things they let pass and the things they don't let pass. Because a lot of times they are fighting organizations that are hiring expunged people and different things. They don't want the programs that we're creating. So we need the community to call them and tell them that that's not.
And that's
okay.
what we're here for, like the call to action. And I'm so glad that you really like hone it in on what the, like people talk about what they're doing in movements all the time, but they don't really necessarily give the community what a next step action would look like. And so I'm glad that you just laid that out. And so I got some questions for you. So you just hold them thoughts, and we're going to come right back to you. And good morning to our second guest this morning.
Good morning.
Introduce yourself to our listeners. I mean, and I want you to, because you're from Center for Urban Families, and I just love them. So good morning.
Good morning. My name is Marcus Brown. I'm the outreach coordinator for the Center for Urban Families.
Nice.
So the Center for Urban Families, our mission is to pretty much strengthen the community by providing more resources and skills, just to help overcome the systemic barriers that's been set forth. But also just we want to provide individuals with those resources, knowledge, the skills, so they can achieve the stability and economic success. So we offer a 3-week Strive program that helps with your resume, your interview skills, your cover letters, and at the end of the 3 weeks, we are going to set you up with real interviews because we have employers that look to us to send them folks for employment. And we
so y'all hear that right? Y'all not just having people come in for a program to get some money. Like you're actually setting them up for success and putting them in the seats for next steps. Okay, I love it. Continue, please.
Yes, and for folks that wanted to further their education, we have a partnership with Baltimore City Community College, in which we offer 6 different certificate programs, such as CNA, GNA, hospitality, CDLB training, IT work, healthcare, hospitality. And that's our partnership for that. We also have a fatherhood program called Baltimore Responsible Fatherhood Services. And in that, we help connect the family to different resources to help achieve that stability and economic success that I was talking about. But also we help because we have a partnership with the Baltimore Child Support Office, so we help with child support management as well and payments.
I love the partnerships. I just love that you guys are engaging and connecting with other organizations that are doing similar work but not the same exact work, so that you guys can put all the pieces together. That's a big deal. Yay, Mr.
Plays
Brown.
a role in mentorship.
Yes, I love it.
Yes.
And so continue, guys. I know you have a little bit more to add before I get into my questions. Okay.
Do you have any training in LPNs or RN? That's our area of focus for assisted living.
Not yet, no sir. I would say not yet. We
Okay,
are
look,
working
Dr. Jones
on it.
always throwing in and stuff. He's like, yeah, get this program for us, right? So
But
he
we
has
are
ideas for
trying
you
to
already.
actively achieve more partnerships so we can offer more services to our communities right now. So,
Okay, that's amazing.
but also I will say that we do have another program, called our Beacon program, which is where Sydney and I actually cross paths. And in our Beacon program, it's about...
And what are you saying? What program again?
It's called Beacon, and that stands
like
for Baltimore...
BECAN.
It's
BCAAN.
So Beacon stands for Baltimore Communities Assisting and Advancing Neighborhoods.
I love it. Okay, there we go. So now you know
So
what
for
Beacon is.
for that program, it's about tying together those partnerships so we can provide more resources to the community.
Okay.
For like you said, we don't offer all different type of services, so it's about creating those partnerships and letting them know it's not a competition. We are trying to all advance our neighborhoods, our communities, and provide more resources. And for the things we don't, we have our partners here who do and can talk more about it, who are licensed professionals or have been doing this for X amount of years.
Okay, that's nice. I mean, I just love that you guys are both, and again, like, so this is amazing, right? So we're talking about Women's History Month here, but this is still building, right? Because you're doing a program with, right now, like one of the programs in the fatherhood services, right?
Right.
So that helps our women. If our women have better fathers and husbands and leaders and males in our community, that builds the woman. That allows us to flourish because we don't have to do it all, right? So if you have fathers doing their part and the mothers doing their part, that's called a partnership.
Yes.
And then we're able to flourish. And then you're here to tell us about all of these amazing things, the Black Art District, right? And for women, like, this is Women's History Month, and so this is a place where women who are into the arts, they have a place to flourish, a like-minded communities and people people that are willing to help them and provide resources, right? So this all works together, right?
Yeah,
No matter
this
how you look at it, it works together for the
Yeah,
good.
this-
Looking at
And what are you
that
going to say, Mr.
program
Mo-
here, Center for Urban Families, is that you can change your life in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yes.
You could have a career.
Oh, my
and one
God.
of the things we are emphasizing.
Yep.
You're
So-
having your own business.
Exactly. So
Having your
look,
own business, because that's where the real strong economic.
no, absolutely. And so
and-
when we come back from after this break, though, we're going to get right into the meat and the potatoes of the program and get some more
Yes.
questions going, because I got, you guys looking at me because I can't wait to come back with the
And
questions. So
this-
don't go anywhere.
This
You're
was
listening
focusing
to.
on women.
Oh, no, I can't
and
wait.
men.
It's right
It's
here.
a co-ed.
So we got to go to break. There's a place we want to take you there. We'll be right back after the song, and we are so happy to have our guests here today, so don't go anywhere. There's a place we want to take you there on 106.1 Praise FM.
Let's go.
So, I'm gonna kick it with mine, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it right here? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Take it from T, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? It's time. Yep, yep. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
Yep, yep.
We got scared up and fine, walking through the night. We're the people, we can do it if we try. I know we can do it. Somebody ask me, why do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. For we're living day to day. We don't know where, we don't know when, but it's coming from again.
About that time.
Time to make some change.
Yep, yep.
We are the people who can do it. Once it's up to you.
It's about that time, y'all.
Time to make some change.
Yep, yep.
We are your people. We can do
Yo,
it.
Mob, kick it for me one more time.
Jesus is spreading mighty fast. Earthquakes are moving through the land. It ain't nothing but a sign. Gotta make up our mind. We're the people, we can do it if we try. I know we can do it. Somebody ask me, why do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. We just live this day by day. Don't know when, don't know when, but it's coming.
You know what? It's time. About that time, y'all.
Time to make some change.
Yep, yep.
We are the people who can do it. It's time. Time to make some change. We are your people. We can do it.
Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Take a seat, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying?
I know we can do it.
Here we go.
Why do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. We're living day by day. Don't know when, don't know when,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's coming right.
Here we go.
It's time.
It's about that time, y'all.
Time to make some change.
That's right.
We are the people who can do it.
Together to make that change.
It's time.
About that time.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome back. You're listening to 106.1 Praise FM, one of Radio One's favorite stations. And this is Women's History Month. And you're listening to There's a Place, and we want to take you there. And we always like to give a shout out to our mentor and our leader of Radio One, Kathy Hughes, Dr. Kathy Hughes. We love you. We thank you for the opportunity to have this platform, and we celebrate you this Women's History Month as well. So shout out to Ms. Hughes, who we love dearly, but you are listening to There's a Place Again, and we want to take you there. And so we have some amazing guests today. We just got finished talking with Sydney with the Black Arts District, and we have Marcus Brown here with Center for Urban Families. And so we were just getting some good information before we went to break. And so I just, want to say thank you both again for coming on the show. The time flies so quickly, so if I don't say thank you again, we are so grateful and appreciative for you guys to be here. And so I just love that you talked about the Black Arts District.
One of the things that we have been emphasizing is home ownership.
Yes.
And one of the things that we have been pushing is people working for themselves. That's the place I know. That's the place I grew up. We were working for ourselves.
Yep.
So, and we know that that's where our economic strength, and we know that there are individuals in our communities who have special gifts that need guidance and support, and we know that the churches are able to give that support and give them that guidance. We have in our churches attorneys and teachers and all that stuff right in the congregation that should be able to provide these services and help these individuals to be structured, organized, and participate in the development of the community.
Absolutely. I mean, the development of the community is so serious. And I even love, like, when I think about, when you just told me where the Black Arts District exactly is, the Pennsylvania Avenue, when I think about that amazing art, the murals that are there, I'm just like, it's so much raw talent and rich history in the area. It's just a shame, for it not to be flourished and for someone or organization to tap into that. So kudos to you and the organization for really, doing the work. And so I think that's a big deal. And I love, that, Marcus, I love the work that you're doing for Center for Urban Families, because Baltimore needs this. They need this, and all the partnerships that you mentioned, even when we were on break, you were just bringing more things to the forefront that I definitely want you to share with the listeners. But I think the work that you guys are doing is super important. And I'm even grateful myself. Like I was telling you, my last employment was the city's youth and community engagement manager for Mayor Scott for youth. And so I really enjoyed that work, and I'm just grateful now to work for the governor, to be the outreach director for the state, to be able to have a broader, spectrum on the world. So it's like now people reach out. Before, people would reach out and, tell me about something that maybe have it in Howard County, Montgomery County. I'm like, oh, dag, I'll connect with my resources and see how I can help you. But now I forget. I'm like, oh, I have the state at my fingertips. Like, oh, sure, I can make this happen, right? So this is a big deal. And Marcus, please, like Dr. Jones just said, the place that we want to take people is to self-employment and home ownership. And so I want you to just get into more of the programs that you're connected to with Center for Urban Families. And you mentioned something about home ownership programs, right?
Yes, we actually do have a home ownership program at the Center for Urban Families, because like you said, we want folks to achieve that stability and, be there to provide for their families. So part of that is having a home of your own, and it's not just renting, it's wanting to have that for your family for generations to come.
Absolutely.
So that's a big part. And also I want to highlight the fact that we have a partnership going with Morgan State University.
Yes, shout out Morgan State alumni, class 2005.
Yes, so Dr. Jones, you just mentioned
HBCU. I love you, Sydney. Yes, thank you.
You just mentioned working for yourself, Dr. Jones, and I want to say through that partnership with Morgan State University, we are teaching entrepreneurship courses right now, which is a 6-week program. But then after the 6th week, we give you 6 weeks of mentorship to help you connect to those resources and create that business for yourself.
Yeah, that sounds great. So
that sounds great. That's why people
to
calling Dr. Jones now, and they hear you on the show, they calling his phone like, we trying to get through. We trying to be a part of the program. Okay, there we go.
Call us.
Ringing right away.
So that particular program, we can refer individuals. What are the prerequisites for being able to do they have to be a high school graduate?
Oh yeah, what are the prerequisites for that?
Be a high school graduate, and the program is from 18 years old to 62.
Oh, nice.
And it is for men and women.
Okay, nice.
Yes. And year in, year out, we help thousands of people. Like I said, we have employers that look to us to send them people. We have been around for 24 years. We actually just celebrated our 24th anniversary.
Shout out. Can we get a hand clap on the other end? Our engineer, please help us out over there, Julian. Thank you so much. Woohoo.
to
Hand
our
clap.
CEO, Mr. Joe Jones.
Nice.
Did you say Joe
There we
Jones?
go.
Joe
Thank you,
Jones.
Julian.
Wait a minute. You heard what
Appreciate
she
you.
said? He
Sorry,
said Joe
AKA Kid
Jones.
6.
Mr. Joe
You know
Jones.
who Joe Jones was in my life?
Do
Who
you?
was Joe Jones?
My father.
Okay, nice. Okay. Oh yeah, right. That was his name. Okay.
That was
Oh,
my father's
wow.
Yeah,
name,
no, I just
Joe
thought about it. I was
Jones.
like, I've heard you talk about him 1,000 times. Okay, so that's
Wow.
amazing.
Who owned all the land and
And so the program, I heard you say that. So the program, the one that's happening now, it's already started, right?
Yes, the
So-
partnership with Morgan State University entrepreneurship classes have already started.
It's already started, and so if someone's listening and they're interested, like when, like, cause they're some, you know, I mean, if I hear something like this, I'm like, oh, dang, I just missed it. Like that was perfect for me, and so I
wanna
would be
call?
thinking,
Yes.
when's the next opportunity, and how would someone get connected to those resources?
They
maybe
can,
connect to him,
yes.
connect
And
to
I
you.
would just say
Okay.
contact the Center for Urban Families so we can help you with that. Because
That's
we
right.
do
Marcus
have
said they got
courses.
admin staff. Don't be calling him all day. He got administration staff to help him. Okay, go ahead. So
What
yeah,
is that
help
phone
us.
number?
It will be 410
Mhm.
246 1382.
Okay, and that's 410-246-1382. I like to give little cap numbers if I'm driving in my car. I'm like, how do I remember that? Just 1382, right? So that's
Yes.
it. And so
That was a
people
very
can
good
call-
year, 1382.
Well, what in the world? That year, I can't
I
even
was
think
about
about
to
that year, Dr.
say.
Jones. Don't, not today.
I won't
Don't.
throw that history
Yeah,
in
thank
right
you.
now.
Yeah, I cannot process that while I'm trying to process all of these amazing programs for Center for Urban Families,
That's
right?
the way I remember stuff by tying it
By
to
the
a year.
numbers.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Numbers,
I'm good with
numbers
13,
run
yeah.
the world and the brain, right? So there you go. And so all right. And so again, can you just recap? Because I want you to, because if I'm just getting in my car and I'm just listening, recap the programs right now that you want to lift up for Center for Urban Families. Like, give it to us again. So I know we have this program right now for you have the fatherhood. Like, I love that.
Yes.
Tell us a
So-
little bit more about that, and then go and then hit
Yeah,
the programs
so
again
our
real
first
quick.
program will be our Baltimore Responsible Fatherhood Services,
Uh-huh.
in which we help connect the families to different resources to help achieve their economic instability. But also we do support groups for the fathers. We do circle groups in which we talk about co-parenting strategies
Nice.
and the obstacles we face. We have a partnership with the Baltimore Child Support Office in which we help with child support management and payments, because we understand there are some financial barriers that
Of
were set
course.
forth that we need to overcome in
Yeah.
the Black community, and just assisting with, navigating through life and, partnering with different organizations to
Absolutely.
provide those resources to the fathers.
I love that, and I'm looking at the flyer, which is the content for just gathering people's mind to wrap their minds around this program. But I love that it says that a custodial or non-custodial father, grandfather, uncle, or father figure. Like, you guys let people know, like, we recognize that there are
They're
males
fathers.
that are fathers but may not be biological fathers, but they're
Right.
acting in those roles, and so this program is
Right.
for all of them, right?
Right,
Ah,
exactly.
amazing.
This is
We need to place a lot of emphasis on getting this out to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Publicize this. There are magazines and senior centers.
Yeah.
Like my organization, they put it in all of the senior centers in
Yes, sir.
the state in Baltimore County. They got about 35 or 40 senior centers in Baltimore County. So my assisted living facility, they send all that information out to those senior citizens, so senior centers.
Uh-huh.
So this is what we need to do with this. We need to send all of this type of information out, get it out into the community, because there are a lot of folks. I mean, I see a lot of people out there
Yes.
that don't know which way to go, don't know what to do.
I tell people all the
Yes.
time, I say, you want to get something out, stand at the subway station at Mondawmin or Pennsylvania Avenue, catch those people in the subway, catch those people
They
going
are
to the mommy.
everywhere.
I mean, it's everywhere. And,
Yeah,
and-
they are in the streets. You just, I just.
But I
went into
feel like, too, Dr. Jones, even getting the information out there, like, when people are, like, because now the internet is so strong, if you have a phone and you just want to Google, like, help for fathers, like, this will come up. Like, if
This
you
will
Google
come up.
help for fathers in Baltimore, like, this is one of the
Yes.
things that will come up. And let's be clear, Marcus, it says the
That's
next
not
work.
what they're Googling with their phone. That's the problem.
Nah, the people are looking for it. They looking for. No, now you're right,
Yeah.
Dr. Jones.
A lot
We
of
look
folks are on
50-50.
social media now.
Right, no, and that's good. And this, I'm sure you guys have a
We
social
have a
media
social media
platform,
page
and this
as
runs.
well.
People don't,
So-
you don't really need to we don't need to waste too many trees anymore, because
Right.
you know that we have. I mean, phones are free, right? You can get a
Right.
free phone from Social Service Partnership, right?
Yeah,
But
they
Marcus,
are at Mondawmin every day.
exactly, with the EGG, exactly, yes. And so, Marcus, the next workshop starts when?
March 28th.
Ooh, Oh, so you
March
guys,
the
let's be
28th.
clear, you got time to be
You
a part of
have
this program. It's not
time.
full yet, is it?
It's not full.
I
And
love it.
do want to say, like you were
Please.
mentioning, that, fathers are, uncles, grandfathers, because we grew up in a generation where the village helped raise the youth.
Village,
So part of the fatherhood program is just, like you said, it's not just the biological fathers, it's the father figures in the youth life.
And so we have this program happening, and just recap, you mentioned some other programs before we went to break, and so you got the father figure program, Baltimore, it's called the Baltimore Responsibility Fatherhood Service, right?
Yes.
That's the name of this.
Yes, and then we had our Strive program, which is a 3-week program.
Repeat that again?
Strive program is
Strive?
a 3-week, yes. It's a 3-week program in which we help you with your resume, cover letter, interview skills. We have employers that look to us to send them people for employment.
Okay.
So at the end of the 3 weeks, we're going to set you up with real job interviews to be placed for employment.
I love it. Real life employment.
I want to make sure I give you my card so those
Yes,
people
sir.
who are coming to
Tell them call me.
assisted
That's it.
living
Right.
facilities, I am hiring.
Yes.
I'm hiring.
I need a job, Dr. Jones. You didn't tell me that. What? Okay, because you
We
pay
are
top
expanding.
dollar.
We are expanding, and we need additional workers and staff.
Yes, sir.
And we train. We med techs. We train med techs. We train all the. Matter of fact, we're going to have our instructor on the show next week, right? One of the.
Oh, yeah, you are.
One
Look,
of our school, head of our school.
that's it. Look, I tell people, don't sleep on Dr. Jones. Don't sleep on him. He has been around for years, and he's really a big boss, and he has all the things that he talks about and he pushes on the community. He is actually living the life. And Dr. Jones, I just always want to give you your flowers while you're here. You walk the walk. The talk that you talk, you walk the walk. And so I think that's important. And, I love being close to people who are not only intelligent, but are wealthy people. So I just love the insight that you share with us and that you continuously to grow. And so, and I thank you for just, bringing these people on the show and connecting, because this is amazing. And Sydney, I love how you were saying earlier that you guys have partnerships as well, right, through the Baltimore Arts District. And tell us a little bit more again about what are those partnerships, like people that you work with again?
Yeah, we work with Maryland State's Arts Council, BOPA. We've worked with Avenue Market. We work with No Boundaries, Jubilee Arts. And actually, we are stewarded with bringing a yearly annual festival to Baltimore. It's a National Women's Poetry Slam. Women in the World's Poetry Slam. It's called WOWPS.
Okay.
And it's about to happen.
Okay,
so
I was about to say it's coming up soon.
Yes,
Okay,
you gotta
okay.
go to WOWPSfest.com.
WOWPSfest.com. Give me those acronyms, the letters again, though.
WOWPS.
WOWPS Fest.com. Oh,
So
that's
Women
cool.
in the World Poetry Slam, and it's a poetry slam, and it's like women from all over the world come and they slam for $10,000 a piece.
Ooh.
Actually, the director of Black Arts District is a national slam poet, and she kept winning. So they told her, since she kept winning and she had this organization, it now has to happen in Baltimore.
Nice.
So it's happening in Baltimore. Definitely check out the website. It's a 3 or 4 day event, and it's actually multiple events each day.
Nice.
So they have like open mics, film screenings, film festivals, different things happening throughout the
I
festival.
love it. So I don't have, Dr. Jones and I don't really have an excuse not to pop through, because
You
it's
gotta
4 days,
show up.
right?
You gotta
Okay,
show
good.
up.
I love it.
It's
Okay.
many days, and it's for
That
women.
is amazing. And so I was just looking at the literature that you shared as well. Tell me a little bit about the historical photography project. And so so tell me a little about this, the revitalization of West Baltimore by attracting people, encouraging reinvestment, preserving culture through storytelling, and celebrating its people. So what's that actually look like?
So what we do is we will ask mostly elders in the community. We'll say, hey,
Nice.
you know
Start there,
something?
women. Say it again. Elders in the
Elders
community. See,
in
we
the
got a little.
community.
It's not just about this for everybody. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because the elders, they are the gatekeepers. They're the griots. They have
There
the
you go.
stories. If you go to African culture, griots were those elders that walked around with the stories of the culture. Like they didn't really have history books. So our elders are our griots. So we collect their narratives. We'll ask them to do an interview, and we'll upload it to an archive, which is hpparchive.org. And if you have any photos as well, so we have photos. Our grandparents. We may have some ancestors that passed on that they are not here physically, but we have their books.
I love
and those
that.
pictures can be uploaded to this archive, because there are archives, but they aren't held by people who those archives mean something to. And so as a Black organization, if we hold and revitalize and reinvigorate and reimagine our own histories, we have the way of telling it where it won't be changed or altered to fit someone else being the hero. And so like we collect those stories from the elders, and then we'll take those stories and we put them in the schools. So we've created a curriculum from those stories, from that history of Pennsylvania Avenue, that cultural history, and we ask teachers from all over Baltimore, hey, are you willing to teach this curriculum? We'll train you on the curriculum, and then you teach it in your classrooms. And it's an art-based historical curriculum, so it's hitting two different parts of. And we need the youth to understand that. So that whole project is about collecting those histories from the community, not saying, oh, this is what we know about it. No, but you were there, and like. One of the oldest businesses in Pennsylvania Avenue is a salon, and it's owned by like a black woman named Dr. Johnson, and she.
Okay, that's my last
Dr.
name.
Johnson.
Okay,
Is it
Dr.
Jones or
Johnson. That
Johnson?
means I need.
It's Johnson.
It's on this side, not
It's
Jones.
Liz's
It's over
place.
here, Johnson. Let's
and so,
be
like,
clear.
people like that on the archive, they're talking about like riots. They're talking about the Cadillac festivals and fairs that used to happen in Baltimore. They're talking about why those things are important and why we need to keep them. And then that's why it's important to have their stories, because then we hear what they did, and then we're trying to do some of those same things. So we hear what we shouldn't do, how we should do it, how we should reimagine it. So that's what that project is about.
Divine. And so you have in Project Restart, I love on the flyer how you have like the cute like girl. She has like the peace sign up, her cute bush and everything. So tell me a little bit. It says project. It's called. So it says, it looks like it says Restart, but it says Rest Art, like it's like REST, and then art is capitalized, right? So tell me a little bit about that. I know it's an initiative to support and sustain Baltimore's culture economy through an equitable lens. So what does that look like?
So understanding that gatherings are important, number one, socially, for mental health, and to have people have spaces to network, but understanding also that our economy thrives on gatherings. A lot of our entrepreneurs, they vend. They go to events and they set up a table. So we need to have those things happen. A lot of our artists, they go to open mics. Baltimore is rich in underground art, and that needs spaces. So we need people going to venues, having the curators getting these things. So Project Restart is all about reinvigorating that whole economy of black culture and black happenings. And one thing that we do under Project Restart is creative community sponsorships. So we will sponsor artists and curators, even the church. Like you have a movie night coming up. You can put in an application for any month starting, I believe, June right now, June to December. We will give you up to $1,000 to host your event, and it's for you. We want you to hire a black creative, get you a photographer, get you some films, get you some things, but we want you to hire black people, and we want black curators paid. We want black people getting this money.
This may be my little start to get back into my
we
little writing and my little arts, okay?
My daughter used to work with Perry, so we do have this creative art program going.
It's in the development of the square and all that. Like if you come to the Saturday school here, and shout out to Concord for the Saturday school. Like right now, I always like to give them a shout out. Right now, it's happening. You can bring your kid here to Concord Baptist Church, located at 5204 Liberty Heights Avenue, any Saturday morning for the development of the square. And this program, it touches on everything that we've literally just talked about today on the show. Every Saturday morning for youth and for your children. What's the age group? It's really starts. So what's the youngest? It doesn't matter.
Started
elementary school all the way on up.
Preschool.
Yeah.
And go all. We end up doing it for 13 years. So we used to stop at 6th grade, but we got people who are going through college and still back.
And they coming back to mentor. I met them when you had the outside program, and I think.
And we have people
who
came out of this arts program was in television now and all that. My daughter worked in television before, so she's producing and having people involved in the television program.
I mean, Concord is always popping. Let's be clear.
She had me on her talk radio show this week.
Oh, she did. Oh, yeah. I gotta go back and listen to this. But and I love. Thank you for shouting out Concord for the Women's History Month because we come celebrate us. Come celebrate with us. We're doing movie night, right? So Concord's Youth Department presents movie night, and it's called The Woman King, and people cannot believe I've not seen this movie. So I'm going to be here, right? So it's Friday, March the 24th at 7 p.m. And so I'm excited about it, and it's from 13 to 24. It's free, and 25 and up, we're only asking for a $2 donation. So come to Concord Baptist Church.
Those who don't have $2,
Dr. Jones got it. Yeah, let's be clear.
Just $2.
Dr. Jones, and people know you, they going to come with no money because they know that you got their back, right, for the $2, right? And so, again, it's at Concord Baptist Church, 5204 Liberty Heights Avenue, The Woman King, Friday, March 24th. At 7 p.m. So you got 2 weeks to make your schedule available.
It is a historical movie. I have seen it.
Okay.
Historical.
Well, you better have seen it, showing it showing it out the church. I hope so. Yes, sir.
It's a historical, valuable movie.
Okay.
Because it's really give implication of the Candy dynasty. you know, the Candy Diners
Yeah,
were
you
the
talk about them
African
all the time.
queens that
Yeah.
dominated 200.
I was going to ask you, Dr. Jones. I want you to give us some more history on that next week. Can you get something together for us and talk about? Oh, not you. You gonna be here? Okay, you won't give it to me. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We'll
I
talk
can
about
pass
that.
it.
Yes, that's perfect. So we'll
But,
get that together.
But the Candies, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they fought off Alexander the Great.
You were the first person
They
to
fought
tell
off
me about them.
Caesar, and even in the Bible, he talked about the Candice treasurer was in Jerusalem right when Jesus
They don't
was
teach us
crucified.
that in school,
The Candice
y'all.
treasurer
No.
was in Jerusalem. He was a
Yeah.
black, and he was riding in a chariot with a chauffeur.
That's
And
perfect.
that means that
No.
that means that he was riding in a Mercedes with a chauffeur.
That part, and that's the 2023 version. But one last thing I do want you to speak on, because we were just talking about all the things that the Center for Urban Families has and how people can connect with Next Level and entrepreneurship, home ownership, fatherhood. But you guys have a creative internship program that the Black Arts District offers, and so it's a paid 6-month internship opportunity for developing professionals in Baltimore. And what does that look like quickly?
That looks like me. I actually started as an
Ah,
intern.
kudos!
started
Yes,
as an
hand clap,
intern.
Julian. Let's go.
So,
Hand
yes.
clap for
And
Miss
what area of
Sydney.
focus with the
Woo!
intern?
My internship
Yes.
was marketing and communications
Yes.
intern, and then they loved the
Thanks,
ideas.
kid
They
sis.
allowed me to expand a lot of their. When I first started, we didn't really have full staff, so like we were building, and everybody's ideas were in, and then like they allowed me to expand a lot of the departments, and then they loved it, and they were like, "Oh, we need an outreach coordinator," and they started creating different positions to fill what my skill sets were. So definitely there's a lot of room for growth with the creative internships. All of the interns are like encouraged to develop their creative. So like right now we have 2 interns, and one of the interns is like in film. So we have them on that HPP project where we're collecting the photos and things. Like they're good with archives, so we have them, like we put them where their strengths are. And we love to help them grow. So that's what that is. And you
That
can
is
definitely
amazing.
come meet some interns.
Oh,
We
yes,
have
I would love to.
cruise on June 24th. It's a 1-day cruise, 2 floors. You can choose jazz and R&B, or you can choose, I believe that the other one is poetry. So
Okay.
you can choose which floor and which experience you have artistically. Come meet the crew,
Which
come meet us.
cruise?
And hopefully
It's
I
going to
can-
be on the Spirit Baltimore.
Spirit
I
Baltimore.
can't wait. Hopefully I can flex my governance badge and y'all could just let me up in both. I'm trying to see
It's
what's
a-
happening in
it's-
both worlds, right?
It's for the purpose of networking. Like, it's for that. So.
Oh, amazing. That sounds divine. And again, that's June 24th. That's perfect. And so I thank you guys. Marcus, thank you. Is there anybody you want to shout out and say, just give a
Contact
shout out to your
information
team?
again.
Oh yeah,
Contact-
give the contact information and give some shout outs real quick before we close
Okay,
out.
cool. So if you would like to contact me, you can email me at mbrown@cfuf.org.
Oh, that's easy. Say that again one more time.
mbrown@cfuf.org.
Okay.
You can contact the center at 410-246-1382.
Perfect. And any shout outs, your team, your staff?
Shout out
people
to
you
the
work-
whole Center for Urban Families.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out to the Growth and Development
Is there a special
Organization.
address for the center?
And we are located at 2201 North Monroe Street. We are
Yeah.
right down the street from Mondawmin Mall and right across the street from New Shiloh Baptist Church.
I love it.
On
Yeah,
Monroe Street.
where all the good stuff is happening, and the men rally and meet in the state and the city and everything.
Yes.
You guys are right there in the heart of what's happening. So,
Yes,
Miss
and
Sydney,
shout
well,
out to Sydney for
Yeah,
joining us
yes,
today.
Sydney. Thank
Do you
you.
have a special address?
We don't have a special address. Definitely come visit the district. It's on Pennsylvania Avenue, 1 block east, 1 block west. But definitely come visit Pennsylvania Avenue and Enoch Pratt Library, Art Social Club, Avenue Market. And you can get in touch with me at Sydney@blackartsdistrict.org. That's CYDNI@blackartsdistrict.org. And we're at Art Social Club every 4th Saturday at 7 p.m. So definitely come network and
Is
meet us.
that
I love it. And do
community place?
Yes,
still
our
there?
social club is actually a men's social club that was started in Baltimore, I believe in 1972. It got put on Pennsylvania Avenue. It has been there for 100 and something years.
What's your social media handles?
Official Black Arts District on Instagram and Black Arts District everywhere else.
I love that. So thank you guys both for coming on. Do you have a social media handle,
Yes,
Marcus?
you
What
can
is
follow us at Center for Urban Families on Facebook and _CFUF_ on Instagram.
I
And
love
this
it.
will be on Facebook and
Yes.
Yeah, so you
Yes.
guys can plug this
Also,
in. And I want what were you gonna
I
say?
was about to say, and tonight you can actually join Sydney and I. We are hosting a workshop together, a family resource fair
Nice.
at 2036 West North Avenue. from
Yes,
7
2036.
West North Avenue.
Night. And what time
From
tonight?
7 to 10 p.m.
I
We got
love
animals
that.
come adopt the
We
pet.
have animals coming to be adopted. We have different resources in the community that we will be providing.
Oh, this is
and
big.
Yes, and there will
Games,
be
art.
activities for kids
Yeah,
as well.
kept the best,
so-
the secret
it's
for the day,
free.
and it's
Yes.
free. Oh,
And it's free.
let's be clear.
Free.
I love it. So let's
Free.
join them tonight. And I want to give a shout out this week. I'm being honored for Black Wall Street Hood Fellas to recognize. It's the second annual Wall Street Hood Fellas will celebrate Black entrepreneurs and professionals and the people that support them. So I'm a little excited. I work with them with the mayor's office, so they're honoring me this week on Wednesday. If you come to my social media page, right. If you come to my social media page, thank you, Kid6, aka Julie, my friend in the studio. My social media is Jamie JAMIE _ Chris CRISS. I'll post some information about it. You can join me this week and register. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Dr. Jones, again for this platform,
Yes.
for this
Yes, sir. Thank
mentor
you.
strategy. Thank you for all that you do for the community and for the women. And shout out to all the women who are listening today. Yes, there
All
we
the
go,
women.
Miss Cindy. It's Women's History Month. Thank you, Marcus. And I know you work with some powerful women that you support and build at work. So thank you just for being a supporter for us and making sure that our fathers have what they need to support us. Thank you, Marcus. And so
And you have been listening to
106.1 Praise FM. There's a place
There-
we want to
and
take
I'll
you
take
there.
you there.
And Dr. Jones
There's a
definitely
place
believes he
and
could
I
take
will
you
take
there.
you there.
Yay!
Yes, sir.
Perfect.